You know, after slugging it out for over 30 years in corporate America, I was exhausted when retirement arrived. I really needed a break.
And I needed a break too. So we spent the first few months in retirement really doing nothing meaningful, right?
Well,
just kind
really,
of hanging around.
kind of lazy mornings turning into lazy days, into lazy weeks, and maybe even lazy months. But we knew something had to change or we were doomed. We wanted our dreams of a fulfilling retirement to become a reality, so we had to make some changes.
So today we're going to share with you some strategies that you can try so that you're full of energy every single day and take on anything that comes your way. But before we go further, we'd like to introduce ourselves. My name is Mark Rollins.
And I'm Jody Rollins, and we started Retirement Transform not only for us, but for all of you and the other 10,000 people turning 65 every day.
Now, we don't focus on anything financial, none of the aspects financially of retirement, but we focus on lifestyle, health, relationships, and more.
And listen, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification button so you'll get notified when our videos come out.
So let's jump into all the things that tend to make you and me tired, especially in retirement.
Gotcha.
Okay? The first thing that gets you tired, too much downtime. And that might just be, for instance, watching too much TV. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the average number of hours people over the age of 65 watch TV each week is 38 hours a week.
That's like couch potato syndrome.
It is. And you have to be careful with that because it does make you tired. Nothing wrong with watching a Netflix series or some TV, but you can't do it 6 or 8 hours a day.
Yeah, lack of movement will really keep your body and your mind tired. You have to find ways to move your body. Even 20 minutes a day, just getting out. Walk 10 minutes one direction and 10 minutes back, and you will feel very different.
What happens if you walk 7 minutes one way and 4 minutes back?
And then you have to do 10 jumping jacks.
Oh, and then, all right, because you're going to be late.
Yeah.
But there's a scientific study, multiple scientific studies, that say moving 20 minutes a day can extend your life by 5 years. Who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. So the first one is too much downtime. The second one is poor nutrition. And we know you've heard this before, but please just make believe you're hearing it for the first time. Poor food choices, fast food, sweets, and too much eating out or even eating late is bad for you. Being mindful of what your comfort food is and how much you go to it is also something to be aware of.
Yeah, I think that, for us, we're getting a lot better with nutrition, and really because we're starting to really pay attention to what our Oura Ring tells us about sleep and how we feel, but also just our body. When we put certain foods in our body, we really pay attention to how we feel. And having wine or drinks and a late dinner at night, we both know we're going to have an awful night's sleep.
But you didn't bite on comfort food.
Comfort food. I need to stay away from comfort food. Fried chicken, Oreo cookies, chocolate chip cookies. That's the stuff that my mother always made for me, and it was comfort.
Right.
I need to stay away from that.
Yeah. And I know it's hard too in retirement to stay away from wine and drinks. Maybe that's me. But just to be mindful of it and to give yourself and your body a break from it is really a good feeling.
Yeah. And all of what we just talked about leads into the third item to make you tired, which is getting poor sleep. And honestly, we need to do an entire video on sleep because I just looked and we really haven't spent enough time on this and the importance of getting a good night's sleep. Most people need 7 to 8 hours of good sleep in order to feel good and have high energy.
Absolutely. And the eating late, too much alcohol just doesn't help that. We lived a good portion of our lives in corporate America, and you as an entrepreneur, entertaining clients and living that way. Eating late, entertaining clients, some wine with dinner, and we knew it wasn't sustainable. So what makes us think in retirement that would be sustainable?
Well, it's funny because our last 5 years of work, really, we were probably working harder than ever before. We were entertaining harder than ever before. That was our normal. And when we got to retirement, that normal didn't work for us. It really didn't. So you just have to be able and to think about making some life changes. And it's not easy, but it's doable.
So we have sleep as the third one. Good sleep, quality sleep, not just time in bed, right? The fourth one is really lack of routines. During your career, you had your routines wired. I know you did. you had a morning routine during your career, and then you were off to work and your day was planned. A lot of time your schedule was filled before you even got into the office. But many people enter retirement and the last thing they want to do is have a routine.
I know, and we hear that a lot, but we also hear from our clients when they start with a routine, even a basic routine, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time. And it doesn't have to be 5 a.m. like me. I mean, you don't get up at 5 a.m.
I don't.
You've got your own routine
I do.
for sleep.
I do.
But you have a routine. Once they start plugging in a routine, getting up at the same time every day, plugging in a little bit of walking for 20 minutes, some exercise, maybe on top of that doing some meditation with an app like Headspace, mindfulness, that really starts to kick in their energy level and makes them feel better in their retirement phase.
And I really resisted this idea of setting a regular time to go to sleep and a time to wake up in retirement. And I don't know if you remember, I pushed back pretty hard on Mark started at like 10 o'clock. We're going to, go to bed at 10 o'clock. Or, he wants to be in bed at 10 o'clock, which really meant he wanted to be asleep at 10 o'clock, which meant bed 9:30.
Yeah, but you also weren't going to let me go to bed alone. And I love that about you.
That's just a me thing.
Right. So you dragged along with me.
I did.
And you laid there with your eyes open for an hour in the beginning.
Well, I would read or something, but oddly enough, our clock kept kind of going backwards. The other thing I'd say about routines is I got a call this week from one of our 25-year-olds. We have two 25-year-old twins, Jordan, that lives in New York City, and she said, something, Mom, starting Monday, I'm getting back to my routine. And I found that so interesting that the self-care part of routine and sleep and waking and all of that is being ingrained in the younger generation.
Yeah, which is great.
It is
great. So, another reason that you might be tired. You could have some underlying health issues that you don't know about. It's so important to go to your doctor at least once a year and have things checked out. Because as we age, things in our body change. And it could be that there's something going on that's keeping you awake at night, that's making you feel tired during the day. So going to see your doctors on a regular basis is so important.
Yeah, there could definitely be some issues going on that need to be addressed. And we have friends that actually have said to us, we never go to the doctor because we don't want to look for trouble. And I'm just not sure that that's a great way to live through this phase of your life.
Yeah, and in retirement, if you're not exercising and you're eating and drinking more than you used to, you're going to gain weight. A lot of people gain weight in retirement. Now, all of a sudden, you pick up an extra 10, 15, 20 pounds, and it's slowly so you don't notice it, but that leads to diabetes. So you want to get your heart checked, you want to get your body checked, you want to go see your doctor. I recently went to the doctor and found out that I had plaque buildup on some of my arteries. It's a scare, I suppose, but it also has helped get me focused on doing the right thing, eating better, exercising, getting good sleep.
Yep. The sixth thing that can really make you tired is some of the medications that you're on could be out of balance. Again, this goes back to checking with your doctor. If you're not sleeping and you're gaining weight and you're having trouble going to the bathroom or you're going too much, find out why. It's just not something to sweep under the rug.
Yeah, if you're getting up 4 times a night to go to the bathroom, it could be as simple as you shouldn't drink water 2 hours before you go to bed. Or it could be something else.
Or it could be a medication that you shouldn't take in the afternoon, you should take in the morning or something.
Yeah, so the important thing we're trying to get across here is see your doctor, check your meds. I was pre-diabetic 7 years ago, and I changed that with diet and exercise. So you can actually be proactive and make some changes as well. Don't have your doctor just say, here's some meds. Talk to them more about what some of the things you can do to change your lifestyle to become healthier.
So we hit the doctor, we hit the meds. Let's go to the seventh thing that we came up with, dehydration. Dehydration for sure will make you tired. That's a no-brainer. It leads to all sorts of problems: poor sleep, heart rate issues, blood pressure problems, brain damage, even death. You had an episode a couple of summers ago with dehydration.
I did. I was working in the yard. I was working really hard. I was sweaty, and I wasn't drinking water. Did all that work. It was a hot, humid day. Showered. We got dressed to go to dinner. We walked down the street to have dinner, 500 feet. And right in the beginning of the dinner, basically, long story short, I just went down, and I fainted, and I had to be taken to the hospital. And that was preventable. It's not hard to fix. You need to drink 1/2 your body weight in ounces of water.
That's a minimum.
I weigh 160 pounds. That's 80 ounces of water a day. That's 7 to 12 glasses of water a day. It's not that hard.
Right.
It really isn't.
It really
And
isn't.
it's so important to do that.
So listen, it's okay to have lazy days. It's okay to splurge with food and wine. It's okay to binge watch TV, but not every day. Not for your optimal retirement. It just isn't sustainable.
And there's nothing worse than feeling tired all day long.
And people that say that, right? They get up and they say, oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Midday, they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Don't you get tired of hearing people say how tired they are?
Yeah, and maybe some people just say it, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like that.
Right.
You want to try a day or even a week implementing what we shared today and see if there's any changes that take place. See how you feel. You actually might like it. You might find a new normal and it becomes a habit. Now, we hoped you liked these strategies and changes that we talked about today. Check out our next video, Extend Your Life in Retirement by Avoiding These 4 Bad Habits. These are definite changes you need to make, so watch this video to go deeper on extending your life and being healthier.